Welcome to the wasted world of sports, where the game's just a backdrop for drunken retorts. Rugby league or union, it's all fair play, but it's the banter that steals the show. Hey, 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 hey. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world, where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. Scrums and tries, they're all well and good, but we're here for the jokes and 10 pence less. From the kickoff to the final whistles blow, we'll take the two and we're ready to go. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world, where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. We break down the plays, but it's all in jest. With the laugh and the cheer, we bring out our best. No serious analysis, no expert critiques, just a bunch of mates sharing plenty of drinks. We'll raise a roll, from sideline jokes to post-match tales, all big goofs and their big fails. We're not so serious, and that's our style. With each ahoy, we raise our skies. Ahoy, ahoy, we're here to make some
World of
noise.
sports, eh?
It's all about the laughs, the fun,
Oh, he's copped a head right to the nuts. Tedesco's butt crack.
Ahoy!
He's nearly taken security's head off.
I have no idea what the wasted world of sports is.
where the banter's always fresh and the laughs are true. Ahoy, wasted world of sports, here's to our cheer. We'll see you on the pitch and drink some
Waste to World of Sports, ahoy! How's everybody doing? I figured, why not, right? Why not indeed? As DJ Shaq has pointed out in the chat room, we haven't missed much. 2 points to nil at the halftime break. The Bulldogs in the lead. It seems like a fairly uneventful match. Bulldogs versus the Knights. We were, of course, off tonight to cover the Formula One. So I wasn't expecting to do this one, but hey, why not? Why not indeed? 2 points to nil at the break. The game is still up for grabs. Why not jump on and do the last 40 minutes? Mookie, ahoy. DJ Shaq. I had the last game on in the background. We had the game on while the race was going. As I said, we took today off to do the Formula One, which will not happen very often because it's rare that a Formula One race clashes with the rugby league here in Australia. The timing is just all over the place. It's very rare that there's an early afternoon race in Formula One. So we just so happened to cover that one. The future Formula One streams will not clash with the NRL, but I did have it on in the background. And yes, when the race ended, it was 18 points to 10 or something like that. Somewhere there about 18, 20, 12, something like that. When the race ended, the score was still manageable. When we came back in, oh my God, 48 points to 18 or whatever it was, 48 points to 24 or something like that. It ended up being. So there we go. Storm scored 30 unanswered points after the Formula One race. So yeah, it turns out we didn't miss too much with that one, and we haven't missed too much with this one so far. 2 points to nil at the break, so it seems like a good time to jump in. Why not? Natalie Green, ahoy there. Mad NRL Edits, ahoy. Welcome along. I tipped the Bulldogs for this one, and I tipped the Storm for the last game as well. Peyton, ahoy there, mate. Skeleton asks, how did Lewis Hamilton do? He finished 7th, I believe. So he made up a spot. Because I think he started from 8th on the grid. So he moved up that one spot into 7th. But I mean, that might not sound like a lot, but nobody really made up places. I think Jack Doohan actually made up the most places. Jack Doohan started in 19th. I think he ended up somewhere around 15th. Yeah, it certainly wasn't a good race for overtakes. Majority of the overtaking happened in the pit lane. DJ Shaq says, at least that was an exciting game to watch with all those tries. I can only imagine. Up the NRL says, who wins from here? Look, I haven't seen a whole lot of the first half to know who's been dominating territory and possession and whatnot. All I know is 2-0 in favor of the Bulldogs. I did see that Stephen Crichton went down and went down hard. So whether or not Stephen Crichton is called off for a HIA, assessed, fails, that could be a big turning point. But we'll see. Second half coming up. 2-0. Here are the teams out onto the field now. Let's suss it out, actually. Territory seems to be in favor of the Bulldogs. Yeah, look at that. 58 to 42% in favor of the Dogs. So, and Stephen Crichton is out for the second half. I mean, out there on the field, not out of the game. Out there on the field is Stephen Crichton, ready to participate. Second half. And we'll have to see. Now that I'm here, maybe it will be a more open, free-flowing second half as the Knights get us underway, and the Bulldogs will have first use of it. Bailey Hayward takes it and offloads immediately there to Jack Todd. The second half underway. 2-0 in favor of the Bulldogs. So it seems like, from what I can tell from the stats, having not watched the first half, seems like it was largely dominated by the Bulldogs, but the Knights defensively held them out. Here's an early kick from Reid Marnie on tackle 3, looking for the 40-20, but Kalen Ponga is nicely positioned back there. He's wrapped up by Stephen Crichton and co, though, on the kick chase. But trying to take the Knights by surprise early on here in the second 40. Kalen Ponga, though. Kalen was wise to that little trick. He's not falling for no early kicks as they spill the ball now, and the Bulldogs are in possession. There's a result. Well, it might not have been the 40-20 that they were going for, but they've come away with the ball. And they can go on the attack now, 20 meters out. Down the short side, Marnie sends it to Tracy. Inside ball for Curran. Curran carries it inside the 10. Gandalf the George is asking saying to guess when the last NRL game where there was no tries. It was probably quite some time ago. Preston with the inside ball. They're 5 meters out now. The Bulldog, crash ball does not pay dividends. Huge defense from Hetherington. Fifth and last. Out to the right they go. Sexton puts the high kick up. Contestable. Batted back. And Josh Curran. Josh Curran has scored. Batted back by the Bulldogs. Josh Curran dives on it. This will go up as no try, but I think he scored it. Ashley Klein sends it up as no try. The Bulldogs have batted it back, and Josh Curran, if he has collected this cleanly, this is the first try of the match. And it will go to the Bulldogs. Jacob Carraz winning the battle in the air. Will this be deemed knocked on or knocked back? Goes backwards and Curran grounds it. Try time. I told you the second half would be more exciting now that I'm here. Oh, they're still. Oh, wait. They're still looking at it. They're still looking at the grounding. Has Josh Curran got this down? Yes, he has. Come on. That's a try. That's a try every day of the week. There is the grounding. Oh, they're not going to award it. They're not awarding it. Josh Curran can't believe it. I can't believe it. They are not awarding it. Oh, the try is given. What? Wait a minute. Didn't the bunker literally just say he dragged it forward? We all heard that, right? We all heard that, right? The bunker said he dragged it forward onto the try line. But even the players were confused. Well, the try's been awarded. Josh Curran. If he's in your multi, there's a tick. 6 points to 0, the kick to come. That was so bizarre. We all heard that, right? The bunker pretty much said no try and then hit the try button. That might be the weirdest bunker interaction that I've ever seen. Stephen Crichton with the conversion attempt. 6 points to 0. The Bulldogs. Mookie, ahoy, mate. No, I don't have a multi on this game. Conversion attempt from the sideline. Stephen Crichton. Oh, he's on point. Down the middle it goes. And the Bulldogs, suddenly they lead 8-0. 2 points to zip at the break. And that is a good start to the second half. Haynes says, I thought he would have to catch it, then ground it. No, he can just fall on it. I actually thought he should have just fallen on it. He took a big risk by trying to even grasp it. He should have just fallen on it. Yeah, you don't have to pick it up first and then put it down. You can just fall on the ball. That's absolutely fine. He took a big risk there, Curran, in the way that he went about that. LRLJM says, hopefully this turns into a good game. I've got a feeling the second half is going to open up now that I'm here. Big charge up the field here, bumping off one. The Knights come back at him, though. Crossland was the victim of that bump off. Marnie out of dummy half, offloads for Hayward. Tackle 4 now for the Bulldogs. Just short of the halfway line. Marnie sends it right. They're going to kick early here. Sexton puts it, trying to get it in behind, but can't get it in behind the Knights defenders there. They are very close to the sideline, though, the Knights, but Marju does well to stay in the field of play. E.B. Williams, ahoy, mate. Up the Dogs. The Dogs. Gagai with a nice strong carry up the middle for the Knights. Thomas can't, up over halfway. On play 4. 5 minutes gone in this second half. Crossland scoots out a dummy half. Fifth and last now. 40 out. Ponga in at first receiver. Puts the kick high. A little too deep to be contestable, but they can still put pressure on. Hiraz offloads for Connor Tracy. And Tracy now heads down the middle of the field. Brings it outside the 20. And that's a good kick return. See, no pressure on the kick chase. Now Hayward out of dummy half. Hayward still going. Quick play the ball. And straight up the middle go the Bulldogs. Up over halfway. Penalty. A penalty. The Bulldogs have come out in the second half. Electric. 2 points to 0 at the break. And the Doggies are just rampaging forward. to play the ball. Oh, it's a trip from Phoenix. Phoenix Crossland has stuck the boot out and tripped him, and he's got to go. He's got to go for 10. You can't trip players. And Phoenix Crossland is going to have a sit down for 10 minutes. You can't stick your boot out and trip a player like that. That is just a blatant professional foul. Phoenix Crossland, 10 in the bin. Bulldogs fine touch, and they are just charging onto everything now. Preston goes straight through. Preston takes it to within 10. The crash, straight up the middle of the crash ball goes Jack Todd. Scores beside the post. That was way too easy. 2 tackles is all it took. And they have just got so much go forward and so much momentum here, the Bulldogs. This could get very ugly very quickly. 12 points to 0, the kick to come. See, all the Bulldogs needed was for me to show up. I wasn't here for the first half. Second half, though, they've come out of the sheds on a rampage. What happened there to the Knights? Goal line defense. They all stood and watched each other. Richard Trainer. Ahoy, mates. Richard Trainer says doggies. Frick Cheese says Storm, Waz, or Broncos gonna humble them. Well, it won't be the Broncos. We all know that I'm not a fan of the Broncos, so I might be a little bit biased. But, yeah, I'm not sold on the Broncos this year. Cal says, up the dog. Up the NRL says, how is it a sin bin? He tripped him. I'm sorry, up the NRL, but there is absolutely no case for Phoenix Crossland to have stayed on the field. You absolutely cannot trip an opposition player. $14 points to 0. Conversion is successful. Back underway. Hayward. Can they keep this forward momentum? The Bulldogs, not like that. Don't run into Frizzell. Tyson Frizzell, Dane Gagai, and Adam Elliott. If I were going to pick out 3 players from the Knights defense to not run headfirst into, it probably would be those 3. Outside their own 30 now, the Dogs. Marnie catches them napping. Inside ball for Connor Tracy. Up towards halfway. Keeping this quick ruck speed up. Sexton takes the line on. He's tackled 40 metres out. They've still got all the go forward. 5th and last. Hayward puts the ball high. Contestable. Karaz is flying through. Loses it forward. But play on though, says Ashley Klein. And this could be another try. Well, I thought Karaz lost it forward. It's bounced out the side of Karaz's grasp. It sits up for another Bulldog who dives under the post untouched. We might have a look at this, though. It's gone up as a try, but I do feel like Karaz knocked that one on. Let's suss out the replay. Oh, he might have been offside too, actually. Karaz might have been a step or 2 offside. Ashley Klein was right there. He said play on. Nah, that's knocked on, surely. That's knocked on. I don't think this is going to stay a try. Kurt Mann's dived over under the post, but I don't imagine that this one's going to stay. I tell you what, though, they have got an insane amount of momentum here, the Bulldogs. Crazy amounts of momentum. Ashley Klein was right there. Time off. Here we go. Checking the knock on. There it is. Forward off the hands. Richard Trainer says you're watching the other types of football. Mate, in this game, you pick up the ball and run. And there we go. Knock on confirmed. Knights, what a let-off. What a let-off here for the Knights. Double tap only. Thank you very much for the heart me over there on TikTok. Cheers, mates. Oh, the Knights. They have survived for now. But boy, the way the Bulldogs are just rumbling this up the field, it's a cause for concern, obviously, for Newcastle. No multi on this one, Tom. No, we covered the Formula One. So I'm only tuning into this one for the second half. Wasn't expecting to tune into it at all, to be honest. So I had no multis on for this one, I'm afraid. But that's all right. It means I can't lose any money. Can't win any either, but can't lose any. As Connor Tracy takes the high ball and the Bulldogs back in possession. Phoenix Crossland, of course, still in the bin for a blatant professional foul. One of the most blatant professional fouls I think I've ever seen. Bronson Sherry heads across field looking for half a gap. Nothing opens up. He's taken down just outside his own 40. Salmon up over halfway. The Bulldogs chewing up the meters. Jack Todd stands in the three-man tackle. Now he goes to ground. Fifth and last. 35 out in midfield. They go right for Sexton. Slightly skews it off the side of the boot, but still contestable. Marju bats it back and bats it into touch. And this will be Bulldogs' ball. What's the call? Newcastle ball. He must have missed it. Marju must have had an air swing. For the Knights to be back in possession. Crossland has got 5 minutes left in the bin. 5 minutes left in the naughty chair. Before he gets back onto the field. Juzzo says Knights have been giving them an unreal game and Dogs still pushing through. They are crazy this year. Big defense here for the Bulldogs. 4 in the tackle, dragging the Knights backwards. Fifth and last. Knights just outside their own 40. Ponga with the kick. And it's taken by Montoya. Offloads for Tracy. Tracy heads across field. Still going across field, but he's been sacked in the tackle there by Bradman Best. Bradman Best was having none of it. Mitchell Vella Sports, funny story. I had to Bulldog pick in the morning, and then I changed it to the night. Well, that's not funny. That's depressing. I mean, for you. Early kick here on play 3. In behind Ponga. Ponga collects it inside his own 10, and he's caught on the 10. Huge kick chase by the Bulldogs. Mason Tickner. Ahoy there, Mason. OG, my golly gosh. Panthers 13th is crazy when they've won like 4 years in a row. Not really when you consider the team that they've had available for the opening 5 rounds. The Panthers, I mean, let's be honest. The Panthers have not had a full-strength squad yet in season 2025. I would not be writing them off. Certainly wouldn't be writing them off just yet. Fifth and last on halfway. And Frizzell spills it. Frizzell drops the ball on the halfway line. And the Bulldogs have it on halfway. Newcastle now give away set restart for what it's worth on play one. "30 meters out. Montoya with a nice strong carry inside the 20. Phoenix Crossland still 2.5 minutes away from return from the naughty chair. "10 meters out. Marnie to Kurt Mann. Sexton with the cutout pass. Hits the chest perfectly of Karaz. Karaz cuts back in field, but he's held up. 10 meters out from the line over on that far touch line. Still on, though, for the Bulldogs. Man in midfield. Short pass off the hip to King. King carries it 5 out. Marnie sends it left on the 5th and last. Hayward throws it a mile forward. And Newcastle survive. Avis Williams, ahoy, mate. Newcastle have survived this little period of time, and they get a penalty now. A penalty to the Knights, and this is just going to wind down the clock. Phoenix Crossland will come back onto the field at the end of this set. Weddy Dens, ahoy, mate. They can just run the clock down here. The Knights, the penalty for pressure on the neck. And Kurt Mann's gone on report for that. Newcastle fine touch, 40 out from the Bulldogs line. They tap and go. Thomas Kant brings it up to the 30. Matt Croker inside the 30 on play 2. They stay on that far side. Getting all tangled up. Fletcher Sharp has to come back in field. 25 out in midfield on play 3. Ran out of options there. Here's Ponga, inside ball for Frizzell. Frizzell gets up and goes again. Frizzell carries to the 10. Looks to offload. To the left they go. Cogger to Ponga. Cut out pass for Sharp. Sharp to Marju. Marju spills it. Greg Marju tries to bring that ball in with one hand, and he drops it. Phoenix Crossland should be back on the field. Marley Prime. The Sharks versus Manly game. Is it a rivalry? Yes and no. Sharks Dragons is a little bit more of a club rivalry. But yeah, obviously there is still some bad blood between Manly and the Sharks over those early years in the grand final. 5th and last here for the Bulldogs. 25 out. Sexton puts it high. Contestable ball. Ponga moves forward and takes it Oh, Kalen Ponga, what a catch that was under immense pressure. And the Knights repel once more. Straight up the middle goes Marju, beats one. Gets the offload away for Fletcher Sharp. Sharp in open space. He's brought down by the shoulders. Just short of halfway. Quick play the ball. Crossland back on the field now. Beats one. 40 out from the Bulldogs line. This is nice quick ruck ball for the Knights. Ponga out to Ponga. They've got a 3-on-2. It's a poor pass from Ponga. Well scooped up by Thomas Cant. It's 2-on-1. Gagai steps back in field. And he's brought down 5 out from the line. The cover defense of the Bulldogs scrambling across. Fifth and last, Ponga. Grubber kick in behind the line. And it's been well taken by Toby Sexton, who is then picked up and carried into the in goal to give away a penalty to the Bulldogs. A second effort hands the Bulldogs territory. And they find touch 30 meters out from their own line. What a clearing kick. $14 points to nil, a quarter of the game remaining. Bulldogs up towards the halfway mark. They march. Brazil, or for a well-earned rest, it seems. Max King carries it up to the 40. He's held up and driven back, though. Back towards halfway. Down the far side they go. Sexton, dummies, cuts back infield. Sexton will take tackle 4. And a penalty now to the Bulldogs. High contact. Penalty to the Doggies. Well, is that worth 10 minutes? Is that worth 10? On report, and that is it. On report only. There's supposed to have been a crackdown this weekend, they said. Jaden Brayley on report. Sexton finds touch. 30 out from the Knights line. Full set of 6. Here they come. Brighton taps, gives it to Curran. Curran's driven back to the 20-meter line. Spills the ball. Curran. Josh Curran on play 1 spills the ball. And the Knights survive again. I mean, I say survive. They're still obviously behind 14 points to nil. Scrum down here for the Knights. 20 meters out from their own try line. You would think with 20 minutes to go that Newcastle have to be the next team to score. You would think. Big defense from the Bulldogs, though, in midfield. They are not going to give this lead up easily. They're not going to give up their unbeaten run easily. Fifth and last coming up, though, a shift from the Knights. Ponga gets the ball free, but that's where it's wrapped up. Just short of halfway, fifth and last. Ponga gets the kick away. It's going to be taken on the full at the back, though. Tracy is under it. And he offloads to Karaz for the hit up. Karaz tries to step his way through. I've only seen the second half, but Karaz, he's been immense in the time that I've seen. I don't know what his first half was like, but his second half has been absolutely immense. Saluka Fafita up to halfway. That's tackle 3. Marnie sends it right for Salmon. Salmon, 40 meters out from the line. His first half was good, says Pat, the winger. There you go. So his first half was good as well. I've only seen the second half, of course. Fifth and last, short side. Sexton puts it high. Contestable kick. Marju flies over the top of Bradman Best and spills it. Marju has gone sailing over the top of Bradman Best. The Knights have got a penalty here for some reason. Oh, a push in the back. A push in the back. Cheeky from Kurtis. Kurtis has pushed Bradman Best into Marju while he was in the air, and hence why there's a penalty. That was cheeky. He almost got away with it. Winterbot, ahoy. Easy on TikTok. Up the dogs. Up towards the halfway line. Go the Knights. They just continue to hold on here. I mean, trailing 14-0, but continuing to hold on. 40 meters out from the Bulldogs line. KP123 says up the dogs as we got a time off here. HIA, who's off? Who's off for the HIA? Nobody at the moment. They're going to have a look, though, at Jack Cogger. Oh, Jack Cogger has copped an accidental knee. An accidental knee from Saluka Fafita as he was swinging to ground. Completely accidental. Yeah, knee right to the side of the head. Play on, though. We're off and running again. Tackle 4 now for the Knights. 40 meters out from the Bulldogs line. They've got to be the next to score. 17.5 to go. Ponga's going to kick early here on play 4. Tracy goes back for it. If he needs to play at it, he doesn't. It's gone dead in goal for a 7-tackle set. Kalen Ponga overcooks it. 7-tackle set here for the Doggies. And a penalty on tackle 1. They're offside. Just to double down and compound the error. How many times do we see it compounding the error? And the Bulldogs bouncing the ball into touch. There was nobody back for the Knights, so the Bulldogs send it over the top and it bounces into touch. 30 meters out from the line, and they go quickly. They're going too quick even for me. 20 meters out here, Saluka Fafita. 10 meters short on play 2. Marnie sends it right for Salmon. Cutout pass for Sexton. And the cutout pass misses everybody. Sits up for Marju. Marju spills it backwards and Kalen Ponga scoops it up. And the Knights, they hold on again. The Bulldogs just failing to land that killer blow at the moment. One more try you would think would surely seal the deal. And they just can't land that killer blow at the moment, the Doggies. Penalty to the Knights. Pressure on the neck. Pressure on the neck. And a relieving penalty for Newcastle. Finding touch on halfway. Oh, high tackle is the call, not pressure on the neck. High tackle. Same though, isn't it, really? Not really. Crossland heads across field. Hands it off inside for Adam Elliott, who offloads again. And the Knights keep it alive. Crossland goes again inside 40. Tackle 2. Here's who have we got there? Adam Elliott plays it 30 out. Colga puts the kick in. Played up by Salmon. They need the bounce. The Knights, they don't get it. Phoenix Crossland knocks it on. And the bounce of the ball just not going their way tonight. Tommy Lobb, ahoy, mates. Yeah, when it's not your night, it's not your night. And yeah, Newcastle just not getting the bounce of the ball go their way tonight. Lewis too sober. Ahoy there. Brendan Barker. Ahoy, mate. Waste of World of Sports channel member. Monin Sabuan. Hope I'm saying that correctly. Ahoy, mate. Not too late for the Knights. Definitely not too late. They have to be the next to score, though. As a mistake now from Sitili Tupouniua hands them just that opportunity. Exactly the opportunity that the Knights needed. A full set of 6 inside the Bulldogs' territory, inside the red zone. It was right on cue. They'll have a full set of 6 here, 30 meters out from the line. They have to bag some points here, the Knights. Scrum down. Ponga feeds it. Jim Condon, ahoy, mates. Ponga takes the line on. Tackle 1 here, 25 out. Quick play the ball. Croker. He's taken down around the legs. 15 out. Ponga goes left. Ponga in the line. Short pass. Well wrapped up. 6 again now for the Knights. Crossland is the decoy. The pop pass for Thompson. In front of the post. Just a couple of meters short. Ponga. Short pass to Croker, who spins away from 1. He's half a meter short. Tackle 3. Cogger has to surrender with the ball. 6 again. Another set restart. They go left. Crossland. Short ball for McEwen. And he's wrapped up and driven backwards. Can they come up with something here? The Knights, the 10 meters out. A full set of 6. Just to the left of the post. From dummy half goes Jaden Brayley. He's half a meter short. They're close here, the Knights. Crossland. Out they go to Crossland. Ponga puts the grubber kick through. Hayward taps it down. And Hayward's away in open space. He doesn't have the pace. Offloads now for Montoya. Montoya might have the pace. Steps back in field. Beats 1. And he's brought down 20 out from the line. The Bulldogs have gone all the way up the other end of the field. And they've got numbers to burn to the right. They've just got to get it out there. Bronson Cherry takes the line on his own. 5 meters out on play 2. They've got to go right. They've got a 72-on-1 overlap, but Connor Tracy heads up the middle. Oh, they've blown it. They've blown it. Marnie from dummy half will take tackle 4. I'm afraid they've butchered that, the Bulldogs. The Knights scramble. They're back on their goal line now. Sitili Tupouniua on the crash ball. 5th and last. A meter out. Right in front of the post. Marnie sends it left for Hayward. Out the back to nobody. Sherry scoops it up. Puts the grubber kick through. Ponga's there to collect it. And he's caught with the ball. Touching goal. Goal line dropout. The Bulldogs turn that play around the length of the field. "11 minutes to go. Surely a repeat set, unless Newcastle can ace this goal line restart." They find some open space with the restart, but Preston traps it with the boot. And Preston has it 30 out from the Knights line. 10 minutes left. Bulldogs ball. Maxi King backs into the defense. 20 out. 10.5 remain. Marnie sends it right. Man steps back in field. 10 meters out. He'll play it on tackle 3. They bring it left. Hayward. Inside ball for Sherry. Sherry back towards the post. Goes beyond the post, Sherry. Completely crossfield. On play 4 now. Marnie to Sitili Tupouniua. Bumps off 1. Sitili Tupouniua's on the try line. 5th and last. 5th and last. Half a meter out. Marnie sends it left. Crash ball for Kurtman. Kurtman goes straight through. That is the match winner. Kurt Mann scores 18 points to nil, the kick to come, and that will surely be it with 9 minutes 40 to go. They have finally landed that killer blow, the knockout punch. Kurt Mann. They were all offside as well there, the Knights. That would have been 6 again. The Bulldogs, top of the table, undefeated. The only undefeated team after 5 rounds. Gussie Gould. It's another Gus Gould special. Another Gus Gould special. This Bulldogs rebuild. Oh, they're back. The Dogs are back. You can feel it. You can sense it. Stephen Crichton with the conversion attempt. Just to the left of the post. It's not a difficult one. He'll probably miss it now that I've said that. Commentators curse and all. Stephen Crichton, 10 to the left of the uprights. Puts it down the middle. Oh, he's not going to miss. When you're hot, you're hot. 20 points to nil. 8.5 to go. The Bulldogs, the only undefeated team left in the competition. Crack a smile, Cameron. Cameron Ciraldo. Straight out of the top coach playbook, huh? Poker face all the way. Won't even crack a smile. Knights, they go short with the kickoff. It's batted back by Montoya. Bronson Sherry bats it back again. And Hayward claims it. Loose pass into midfield. And Kurt Mann there to pick up the pieces. It took them 3 bat-backs, but the Bulldogs have the ball. 8 minutes to go. And let's not forget, the Bulldogs are doing this with no Matt Burton and no Viliami kick-out. No Matt Burton and no Viliami kick-out. And they're still pulling off these results. Toby Sexton and Bailey Hayward have stepped up big time, right? And this is high contact from Adam Elliott. And Adam Elliott, he'll be on report for that. This will be on report. And a penalty to the Bulldogs incoming. Penalty Bulldogs. Well, he's not even on report. Yes, he is on report. Adam Elliott on report. The last try was scored by Kurt Mann. Bulldogs, fine touch, 35 out. They tap and go. Preston with a nice strong carry. 25 out from the line on play 1. 7.5 remaining. Max King straight up the middle. Carries it inside 20. Still going, Max King. 12 out, just to the left of the post. Marnie, dummies right, brings it blindside. Now inside ball for Bronson Sherry. And Sherry is chopped down. 5 out, just to the left of the post here. Marnie sends it across field for Mann. Sexton now dummies. Sexton almost gets the arms free. Tackle 4, 2 meters short. Marnie, 6 again for the Bulldogs. Saluka Fafita. Just settles things down now. Back in front of the posts. On tackle 1. Mann in at first receiver. To Sexton. Dummies again. Takes the line on. Marnie from dummy half. Gives it to Preston. Preston over the line. But he's held up by 4 Knights defenders. He's not getting that down. And that'll be tackle 4, I believe. 3 or 4. Brings it back to the 10 meters line. And that was tackle 3. Hayward Out to Man and Saluka Fafita on the burst. Tackle 4, 5 meters out. Sexton to Man, short ball for Salmon. Salmon is taken down just a meter short here on the 5th and last. Marnie stays on the short side. Perez, though, sends it back open. Sexton now puts the grubber kick in behind the line. It's been collected by Thomas Cant, and Cant is held up and driven back into the in-goal area for a goal line restart. 6 minutes to go, and the Bulldogs have forced the goal line dropout. They are closing this game out perfectly. Sam says, I don't like how bad we're playing. I think you can guess who I support. Oh, I feel your pain, Sam, for just like me, you must be a Cronulla Sharks supporter. Unless you mean this game. Bulldogs collect the goal line restart. 20 meters out. Max King in midfield. Khalid says, up the Dogs. Izzy says, go Dogs. Lots of Bulldog supporters out there in the chat room tonight as Kurt Mann takes the line on. Now inside ball for Salmon, and Jamin Salmon spills it. That'll be a knock on. Knights scrum down. 5 minutes to go, 20 points to 0. It's all good, Sam. I was obviously just joking around, poking fun at my own team, the Cronulla Sharks, for how miserably they're playing as well this year. To be fair, though, Sam, you have come up against a red-hot Bulldogs team. The only undefeated team in the competition. Sometimes you don't help yourself, like as a team, but sometimes you just come up against an unstoppable force. And I feel like that's the Bulldogs at the moment. Penalty now for the Knights. Saluka Fafita offside. Knights, fine touch, 30 out from the Bulldogs line. 4 minutes to go, just under 4 minutes to go. Matt Croker goes straight up the middle, beats one. Salmon brings him down on the 20. Crossland, inside ball here for Adam Elliott, who heads across field. 3.5 left, 15 out. Crossland to Cogger. Gagai can't get on the outside of Bronson Cherry. Does get the offload away, though. Back to Cogger in midfield. Here's Ponga. Ponga's held up 10 meters out on play 3. They go left. Cogger again. Short ball. Well read by the Bulldogs defense. They want to keep 0. The Bulldogs, they want to keep 0 here for sure. Chloe, ahoy. Kick into the end goal. Montoya shadows it over the dead ball line. Has to make a play at it and bats it dead. Goal line restart here with 2 minutes 44 to go. The Knights may get some consolation points here. How are you, Chloe? For Collingwood versus Essendon tickets for April 25th. Nice. Hart Ticker says Bulldogs heading into a bye as well. Brendan Barker says, as a very sad Tiger, let's go Bulldogs. Knights with 2 minutes left to play. On the attack, 30 out, Cogger. Flat pass to Elliott. Elliott taken 20 out. Crossland out the back to Cogger. Loose pass. Bounces up nicely for Thomas Cant. And Cant dances back in field. 10 meters out now, just to the right of the post. Cogger to Ponga, flat pass is dropped to McEwen. And the Bulldogs are going to keep them to donuts. The Bulldogs' defense, you can't beat it. You can't break through. The line wasn't even bent. Amazing work from the Bulldogs, the only undefeated team in the comp so far this year. Bulldogs inside the last minute of the game. .30 out from their own line. They'll be happy to just wind the clock down here. Hayward out the back. Now it goes to Taff, who hands it on. And the Bulldogs lose it on the halfway line. 20 minutes to go. 20 minutes. God, the Knights wish there were 20 minutes to go. 20 seconds to go. And we're not even going to get time for the scrum. The referee has blown time off with 3 seconds remaining. The Bulldogs undefeated, top of the table. Hey, I'm glad the Bulldogs are top of the table and not the Broncos. As Ponga takes the final hit up, 20 points to nil. The Bulldogs have held the Knights scoreless. Wiggy says up the Bulldogs. Jim Condon, in your opinion, Dan, what's the reason the Dogs are playing next level this year? Is it just the reshuffle? Guess it's a stupid question. No stupid questions here, Jim Condon. No such thing as a stupid question here on the Waste to World of Sports. I'll tell you what I think. I think the reason the Bulldogs are playing well is because they recruited extremely well. I mean, Gus Gould came in, swept the club out, put in a junior system. I mean, Gus Gould, a lot of people don't like Gus because he's a very passionate, outspoken person. I personally love Gus. One of the greatest rugby league minds of all time. He came into the club as a what was his official, like, director of football or something like that was his official title. He came in, he swept it all out and rebuilt the club from the ground up, essentially, from the juniors up. And that's the beauty of what Gus does. He focuses on the grassroots. Jackson says, what's the actual score? Unfortunately for the Newcastle Knights, Jackson, that is the actual score. Yeah, so Gus has come in and masterminded this whole thing, all right? But the recruitment has been on point. Absolutely on point. Cameron Ciraldo, they brought him in. It took a couple of years to get going. They've got going now. The Bulldogs, they just needed time. They needed that couple of years to click into gear. And the Tigers are going to find the same thing. Now, the Tigers don't have a Gus, but the Tigers, they'll be, if they can keep that team together for a couple of seasons, you're going to find the Tigers doing exactly what the Bulldogs are doing right now in a couple of years' time. So, yeah, I mean, they've recruited well. Their defense is on point. Gus has the mindset of defense wins premierships. He's obviously been a very big piece of it, but they've recruited well. They've got a solid team. I used to say about the Bulldogs, they're just missing a halfback. The Bulldogs are a halfback away from a premiership. But I have to applaud Toby Sexton for the way that he has stepped up. Maybe they've found their halfback after all. You know what I mean? Maybe they don't need to reach outside the club. Toby Sexton has stepped up well and truly. Ollie is the best. Ahoy, mate. It's Reed's birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Reed. We'll play the music in a minute. Izzy says, Bulldogs plus you plus Gus equals my dream. You great people and masterminds. Oh, God, I wouldn't put me in there. I wouldn't have me in there at all. Wiggy says, who have you got top four, mate? Oh, no, who do you go for, mate? Unfortunately, Wiggy, I go for the Sharks. I might have to rethink that, though, the way they're going at the moment. Yes, indeed. Wasted World of Sports. wastedsports.com.au/games. wastedsports.com.au/games. You can join our NRL tipping, NRL fantasy, Super Rugby tipping and fantasy as well. wastedsports.com.au/games. I'll leave you with that. I'll be right back. Jim Condon says, thanks for that explanation, Dan. All makes sense. Oh, I'm very glad. Sometimes I'm not sure if I'm just making sense to myself or not. Mookie, catch you later, mate. Catch you next week. Next week is my birthday. Hey? Oh, whose birthday is it? Reed. It's Reed's birthday today. All right. Happy birthday, Reed. Christ, what's happened there? Happy birthday to Reed. Hope you are having a splendid day. And I hope you go for the Bulldogs. Got to be going for the Bulldogs right about now. Yes, indeed. Happy birthday, Reed. And thank you very much for your ongoing support of the Wasted World of Sports. Wasted World of Sports, of course, live on YouTube, live on TikTok, live on Twitch, live on Facebook. Brandon Barker says, what day, Dan? Also, I forgot to ask, how was Alien Ant Farm? Alien Ant Farm was fantastic. So good. So good. Alien Ant Farm were playing with Drowning Pool. We got a whole bunch of free stickers from the guitarist from Drowning Pool. Just gave us a whole bunch of stuff. Like, here, have this. And we very willingly took it. Marley Prime says Sharks 13 plus against Manly. Oh, Marley Prime, you know that I'm a Sharks supporter. Anyone who has joined the streams for any length of time knows that I'm a Sharks supporter. But are you honestly going to tip us 13 plus against Manly the way that we're playing at the moment? I'm afraid I just don't have that amount of faith right now. NRL editor 24, Ahoy Dan, Battle of Brookvale. Shocking, eh? Well, shocking if you're a Manly supporter. I tipped the Melbourne Storm. Didn't think that the Melbourne Storm would win by bloody 20 points, but I thought it would be a tad closer than that. I thought this one would be a tad closer as well, though. Juzzo says Crichton revived that team. Stephen Crichton, tell you what, if you want to talk about players that the Panthers are missing right now, Stephen Crichton is up there. You know, everybody goes on about how Nathan Cleary played at the back end of that 2023 grand final, the comeback against the Broncos. That was 2023, right? And everybody talks about the Nathan Cleary masterclass, and rightfully so. Okay? Rightfully so. But if you haven't done so, go back and watch the highlights of that game. Nathan Cleary doesn't even get the opportunity to lead that final 10-minute masterclass if it's not for all the work that Stephen Crichton did. Stephen Crichton has gone very unheralded. Is that the word? He's gone very unheralded in that grand final performance. This and that lifestyle can't hit a multi for shit this season. Too unpredictable. Dear God. Oh, tell me about it. I'll drink to that. Yeah. And it's crazy because in the Super Rugby, in the Six Nations that we also covered here on the Waste to Water Sports channel, I've hit like 80% of my same game multis. I'm not even kidding. You can go back over the streams. If anyone doesn't believe me, you can just go back over the Six Nations streams and the early rounds of the Super Rugby. We hit like 80% of the same game multis. I think I've hit one, maybe two in the opening 5 rounds. And the opening 5 rounds, that's a lot of NRL games. And we've only hit like 2 of them. Every other multi outside of the 2 that we've hit, I'm lucky if I'm getting 1 leg. It's a right pain in the ass. NRL videos, there's Bulldogs, premiership contenders. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I had the Bulldogs. I think I had the Bulldogs top 4 in my preseason prediction. I think. I've got nothing to go back and reference because I don't think we actually did a top 8 predictions video or top 4 predictions video this season. I've just spoken about it on live streams. Pretty sure I had them in my top 4. Anyway, they're in my top 4 now. Regardless. Definitely in my top 4 now. So just out of curiosity, Brendan Barker, after our chats the other night, after the stream, and we got onto the subject of K-pop, your daughter who's into Blackpink, have you happened to name drop Dreamcatcher yet? Get her into Dreamcatcher. James Taya, or Taya. James Taya or Taya? I'll just call you James T. How about that? Until you correct me with the pronunciation. They haven't faced a quality side yet if you looked at their fixtures. Well, yeah, that's probably fair. That's probably fair as well. But you can only play what's in front of you. Game ML, ahoy. Game ML says, didn't even know you were live. Well, how nice of YouTube to alert everybody. I love how YouTube is so on the ball with alerting all my subscribers that we're live. So come party. It's always so nice of them. $20 though, the Bulldogs. Keeping the Knights to naught. Hell of a performance. wastedsports.com.au/games. Oh, God. I don't even want to look at my fantasy team this week. I suppose I better check in and see how they went. Oh, okay. Not too bad, actually. I was expecting worse. 708 off this round. I was expecting a lot worse, to be honest. I'm not really maximizing at the moment. My captain. I've got Daly Cherry Evans as my captain. So he got me 98 points this week, which is decent, but you kind of want your captain to be in the hundreds, don't you? So he was just a little bit short of expectation this week, DCE. Nobody really. Panua Blake and Utukamanu got me my biggest natural score. Everyone else was a little bit quiet. Shibasaki was quiet. Bradman Best was quiet. They both only got me 26. Jareen Buller was quiet, my vice captain. Yeah, I'm going to have to reshuffle my side. Royce Hunt. I put Royce Hunt in. He's coming off the bench, though. He only got 11, and he didn't get a whole lot of minutes, big Royce Hunt. I honestly thought that Royce Hunt would get more minutes than he's being given at the moment. 11 is not good enough for a starting front rower. I'm definitely going to have to rethink my team here. It's all right. It's only round 5. It's still time. There's still time for improvement. Okay, so Brendan Barker, I'll tell you, these are the groups that I'm into, and you can run them by her and see if she knows any of them. So Dreamcatcher, as I said, the Dreamcatcher, Biviz, Biviz, Ive, that's just simply IVE, G Idol, G-IDLE. I'm just rambling on at this point, but those are a few of my favorite groups. You'd wish to know, Des, who do you go for? I go for the Sharks, I'm afraid. Unfortunately, I go for the Sharkies. It's not going to be a good year for the Sharks. Too much invested in Nico Hines. Too much money invested in Nico. I said it at the time as well. I said at the time, this is too much money to throw at an unproven halfback. Jim Condon says still better than being a Dragons supporter. No, the Dragons are going to go all right. You've got a good coach. We don't. You've got the basis of a good team. We do as well, but just missing some pieces. But I think the Dragons actually have more pieces in place. I mean, you've got to understand, I love Shane Flanagan. As a Shark supporter, of course I love Shane Flanagan. He's the only coach that's ever coached us to a premiership. I wish we could have him back. You know, Fitzy's too nice a guy. Fitzy's one of those coaches that the team loses and he makes no changes. To be a head coach in the NRL, you've got to have a little bit of hard ass about you, right? You've got to be able to make the tough calls. You've got to be able to say, look, you're not up to the task. Go and spend some time in reserve grade. Go and spend some time in the New South Wales Cup and get better. Get your confidence back. Fitzy is too nice a bloke. That's the problem for the Sharks at the moment. Fitzy's got to make the tough calls. It's been happening now for 2 seasons. For 2 seasons, poor matches, poor results. He puts the same team out the following week. Nobody has to, what's the word? Nobody's in fear of their position because nobody gets dropped. The team sucks so badly, but you know that he's going to pick the same team next week. Nobody's in fear of their position. And if you're not in fear of your position, what reason do you have to try and go above and beyond? Am I making sense? I'm making sense to myself as a Shark supporter. There needs to be some tough calls made with the Sharks team. Will Kennedy is not up to NRL first grade level at the moment. Nico Hines is not a first grade halfback in the NRL. These are tough calls that need to be made. And we need somebody leading the team that has the balls to make them. And I don't think Fitzy's that man. So I would happily trade to have Leno back. There was grunt about that Sharks team of 2016, the premiership winning squad. You had Flanagan as the coach, hard ass. Mick Innes was our starting hooker. A real no-nonsense, nuisance player. Used to get under the skin of the opposition. We had Paul Gallen. We had big bad Andrew Fafita. Luke Lewis. We had a no-nonsense team in 2016. And it's no surprise that we won the premiership that year. It's just a bunch of no-nonsense blokes that would go out and get shit done. Anyway, Richard Trainer says he was like that when he was playing. Are we talking about Fitzy or Fleno? Are we talking about Fitzy being too nice or Fleno being a hard ass? BTC, up the dogs. Welcome back, BTC. Up the dogs indeed. 20 points to 0. They're successfully the only undefeated team now in the 2025 season, and I reckon they'll remain that way. I mean, they've got the bye next week. Let's have a look at the Bulldogs draw, and we'll try and predict when their first loss may be. How does that sound? That could be a little bit of fun. And the reason it could be a little bit of fun is because there is actually a betting market around when a team will get its first loss. Okay, so let's have a look. Bulldogs have beaten the Dragons. They've beaten the Titans. They've beaten the Eels. They've beaten the Sharks. They've now beaten the Knights. They've got a bye. Okay, so after the bye week, they come up against the Rabbitohs, the Broncos at Suncorp, Titans, Raiders, Roosters. Okay, so I think it'll be one of these two. Coming off the bye to face the Rabbitohs. Coming off a bye to face the Rabbits. Never underestimate a Wayne Bennett coached team. That Friday, the 18th of April. Friday, the 18th of April. That has Wayne Bennett ambush 101 written all over it, that game. That should be a doozy. I'm looking forward to that one now. So they've got the bye next week, then the week after. Bulldogs, Rabbitohs. Never, ever underestimate a Wayne Bennett coached team. Ambush written all over that one. All right, Wasted World of Sports. It's been a big day. We covered the Formula One. I unexpectedly jumped on and did the second half of this one. Bulldogs Knights. If there's no more questions in the chat room, I shall take my leave. But I mean, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Legitimately ask questions if you have them. I'm more than happy to stick around and chat. This is my job. This is what I do. So I'm more than happy to stick around and have a chat. So don't feel bad about asking. I do have all night. Chet. Ahoy there, Chet. Doggies NRL says, I'm happy the boys win tonight. BTC asks what team I support. Unfortunately, I support the Cronulla Sharks. Richard Trainer says bunnies ain't got shit on the Dogs. The coach does not matter. Oh, Richard. No, mate. You can't say that about Wayne Bennett. I'm sorry. You have just set yourself up for misery, my friend. Oh, dear. What have you done, Richard? You never say that about Wayne Bennett. Oh, dear. Richard. Deeks. Ahoy there, Deeks. Deeks says, go Storm. Mr. Cozza says, in Uncle Wayne we trust. Exactly. Chet says, please let me pick your next multi. All right. What have you got? What have you got for me? Smiley face with a cowboy hat. There seems to be no username attached to it. Smiley face with a cowboy hat. Do I keep supporting the Sharks or swap to Manly because I love Manly? Well, if you love Manly, then swap to Manly. But hey, look, I complain about the Sharks all the time, but I would never actually switch allegiance. If you truly support a team, you stick with them through thick and thin. And as I'm sure you know, as a fellow Sharks supporter, it's often very thin. We don't get a whole lot of thick. 2016's been our only thick. Although we had a good team in the late 90s, early 2000s. There were some opportunities there if they were better. Game ML says, how was the Formula One stream? It was good fun. Game ML. Yeah, it was very good fun. It was a shame about the result. Shame about the result, but yeah, it was good fun. We'll definitely be doing more Formula One in future. Okay, Chet says Thursday I'll be back on. Go live before the game starts, and I'll send it to you. Mr. Cozza says 100 on Latrell Mitchell, first try scorer next week. $100 on Latrell. I had Latrell in my multi this week. Didn't pan out so well. Son of a bitch, he dropped the ball over the try line, didn't he? He should have had a try. Oh, well, these things happen. These things happen. I've had so many tries, so many ticks off my multi, scrubbed out this weekend. Tries being overturned. Been rather painful. Richard Trainer says, be a fan of the sport before finding a team. That's probably a pretty fair statement as well. Pretty much been the case for all the teams that I've elected to go for. I've gotten into the sport first, and then I've picked my team to follow. Based on all kinds of. Sometimes it's just based on I like the jersey. Genmal Bolandres says Knights are goated. Goated for what? Goated for scoring zeros, losing. Okay, there we go. Why did I know there was a joke inbound? Brendan Barker tells mob, and my mob came through the same mission. Fisher, I have no idea what any of that means. I'm sorry. Fisher says Connor Tracy, such a slept-on workhorse. Oh. Okay. I would like to, just for a moment, as a Sharks supporter, can we please go back to this? Okay. I just want to point out a few things here about the Cronulla Sharks. A few years back, our halves pairing was Sean Johnson and Matt Moylan. Sean Johnson was going back to New Zealand. He wanted to go back home. Fair enough. Sean Johnson was leaving anyway. We had in the team a young bloke by the name of Luke Metcalf. Does anyone know him? Yeah, the same Luke Metcalf that is now tearing it up at halfback for the Warriors. We let Luke Metcalf go to retain the services of Matt Moylan for an extra couple of seasons. And trust me, as a Cronulla Sharks supporter, I knew what a horrible decision that was. But to compound things, okay, Will Kennedy is probably like the second worst fullback in the entire NRL at the moment. He's just lucky that Reece Walsh exists. Otherwise, he'd be the worst, hands down. Will Kennedy is one of the worst fullbacks in the competition. We let Connor Tracy go. Connor Tracy was a Shark. Connor Tracy was a Shark who couldn't get any game time. He was on the bench. He was in reserve grade. The only time he ever got given a chance was through injury, and he came out and had blinders, but then was sent straight back down to the bench. So obviously, he left the club to go and get game time. Connor Tracy is now tearing it up for the Bulldogs. There's something seriously wrong with my Cronulla Sharks when it comes to recruitment and retention. They let Luke Metcalf go to re-sign Matt Moylan. They let Connor Tracy go. We're stuck with Will Kennedy. It's depressing. It's utterly depressing. Fisher says, don't worry, mate. I understand. I go for the Dragons, but you've got our coach. Shane Flanagan's a great coach, Fisher, and he will turn that club around. Don't you worry. Shane Flanagan took us to the only premiership we've ever won. He is a great coach, and he will turn that club around. Just give him time. Catch you later, Gamer Mel. I wish we could have him back. Do you want to swap? Fisher, how about this? Obviously, neither one of us are in a position to make calls on behalf of our club. But how about this? We get Flano back and we'll give you Fitzy and Will Kennedy and Nico Hines. We'll take the Flanagans back. Give us Shane Flanagan and Kyle Flanagan. You can have Fitzy and Nico. Richard Trainer says that's why team's continuity is very important. Fisher says, I think Fitzy is maybe a bit too nice. Do you agree? Doesn't put his foot down. I'm not going to get into it again, Fisher. But yeah, that's hilarious. It's hilarious that you say that, because I literally, just before you popped into the chat, I literally just spent about 10 minutes, I think, bitching about how too nice a guy Fitzy is. Catch you later, Brandon Barker. Thank you so much for hanging out. Enjoy the rest of your night, sir. And don't forget those K-pop group names to run by your daughter in the morning. Up the Waz says up the Wazaxton. Up the Wazaxton says up the Waz. Genwell Bolandres says Nico was great for us, presumably meaning the Melbourne Storm. It was great for us. That's what you get for leaving us, Nico. Yeah, Nico Hines was fantastic. Nico was a breakout star for the Melbourne Storm, wasn't he? Breakout star. Fisher says, insane all this, Storm to take the comp anyways. Yeah, well, I've been saying, for those of you who have been joining the streams for any length of time, you'll know that I've been saying Storm will win this year since the bloody after the grand final last year. The Storm are on the brink of a dynasty of their own. Dynasty, however, potato, right? First meeting, ahoy, mate. Go the Doggies. So many Doggies supporters. I love it. I actually think on Wasted World of Sports across all our platforms, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, I think it kind of goes like this in terms of supporters. I can't help but notice that there's a lot of Bulldog supporters, but I think primarily Tigers supporters. I think Tigers and Warriors are the top two in terms of supporters of our followers. Tigers and Warriors. Because every time I stream a Tigers or Warriors game, through the roof, the numbers. Broncos are in third. Broncos would be in third place. And I think I get a lot of followers that are Broncos supporters because they know that I hate the Broncos. And therefore, when the Broncos win, they get a lot of joy out of my saltiness. I think that's the reason why. So, yeah, in terms of supporters, subscribers, sorry. In terms of subscribers and followers across all the platforms, I think it goes Tigers, Warriors, Broncos. Surprisingly, considering I'm a Sharks supporter myself, not a whole lot of Sharks supporters. I think there's only about 5 or 6 of us across the the near 5,000 that we've got now. Richard Trainer says, Dan, I've told you before, James, I'm Barbecue Maloney is the sole reason the Sharks won that year. Oh, I don't think the sole reason, Richard, but he certainly had a very, 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 very big say. So not the sole reason, but he absolutely had a lot to say about it that year, didn't he? James Maloney and Mick Innes, as I said. Robert M. Panthers will be absolutely fine. Panthers will be fine. Look, obviously things are not going their way at the moment. Obviously there's a lot to work on, but looking at it in realistic terms, the Panthers have not had a full squad. Their full squad, they're ravaged with injuries at the moment, is basically what I'm trying to say. The Panthers have not had the same squad in back-to-back weeks once yet this season. That makes it very, very hard to get any sort of continuity going, form any sort of combination. Even with the return of Nathan Cleary this week, there were so many other players out. I will not judge the Panthers season until I see the Panthers at even close to a fully fit, full-strength team. And we haven't seen that yet. The closest we've seen is in round 1 in Vegas. That's the closest. And they still weren't even full strength that night. They had injuries. But that's the closest they've been all year so far. The real thing says, was Burton back tonight for the Dogs? No, Matty Burton will still be out for another few weeks, I believe. Birdo is still out for a few weeks, I think. Robert M says Edwards must be due back soon too. Absolutely, I do believe so. Edwards can't be too far away, and boy, they're missing him. Boy, they're missing him. Edwards and To'o. No Edwards, no To'o. Dane Laurie, in my opinion, tried to do too much. Dane Laurie, I think, realized the humongous boots of Dylan Edwards that he was trying to fill. And I feel like Dane Laurie was guilty against the Cowboys of trying to overplay his hand. I think Ivan needs to say to Dane Laurie, if you're filling in, if you're going to be our guy, if you're filling in for Edwards while he's injured, you don't need to try and be Dylan. Go and play your own game. You just go out there and do you. And I think that a couple of those Panthers players were a little guilty of trying to fill the boots of the players that they were replacing, if that makes sense. And yeah, look, I'm not... It's a 27-round competition. 27-round competition. And it won't be panic stations yet for the Panthers. Like I said, not once have they had a fully fit, full-strength squad. When they get a fully fit, full-strength squad, I'll tell you what, if they finish anywhere inside the 8 and their frontline 18 are fit and available come finals time, you're having a laugh if you think they won't be up there fighting for a grand final spot. Yeah, they're obviously hammered with injuries at the moment. But yeah, good Lord. I'll tell you what, if they have persistent injuries throughout the course of the year, let's just say that this injury run keeps going. But if they sneak into the 8 and they get all their players back, I do not want to be the team that's facing them in the finals. Not at all. Robert M says, question, since Broncos are going to be without Piakura, do you put Big Marty there or swap Big Ben T on the bench or Willison? Oh, excuse me. I think Xavier Willison proved that he's an impact player off the bench. So I wouldn't move him. I wouldn't change him at all. The games that I've seen from Willison when he has started and they've tried to play him for essentially the full 80 minutes, it's not his role. I think he's very similar to some Sharks players over the years. Yeah, you're not an 80-minute man. Xavier Willison, I think, proved that his impact is off the bench against a weakened, tiring defense, because he was a big part of blowing that game open against the Tigers, wasn't he? I mean, Xavier Willison just came out of nowhere onto the field. Boom. This big unit, his go-go gadget arms, all bloody 72 foot tall of him. So I would keep him exactly where he is. So that narrows it down, doesn't it? With Piakura out, it narrows it down. We're keeping Willison on the bench. So we've got it narrowed down to 2. Beardin says, do you think Cowboys can beat the Rabbitohs next round? Okay. That's a loaded question, really, because can they? Yeah, of course they can. Anybody can beat anybody else. Can is the question. Yes, they can. Anybody can. Will they? Well, that's another question altogether, isn't it? Can they? Yes. Will they? Oh, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. Uncle Wayne has got the Rabbitohs fit and firing. And let's also, look, take nothing away from the Cowboys. And what I'm about to say, I don't want it to come across as I'm trying to take anything away from the Cowboys. But don't you love it when there's a gigantic Kardashian-sized butt thrown into the sentence? But let's be honest. If Casey McLean throws that pass to an unmarked Tom Jenkins on the outside, the Panthers win that game. And we're talking about another loss for the Cowboys. Back to the drawing board. One pass, and it was game over. So, I mean, that's the fine lines in rugby league, isn't it? The fine margins. That one pass, Casey McLean holds the ball, goes for glory on his own, hogs it, doesn't pass it to the unmarked man. We're talking about the Cowboys claiming the scalp of the defending champions rather than Cowboys have smacked back to reality. Another loss. Fine lines. All right, I have a quick break. I'll be right back. Robert M says Cowboys will beat the Rabbits because they've got good forwards. So do the Bunnies. I reckon the Bunnies have got good forwards. Well, Richard Trainer says 3 different teams, 3 grand finals with each, winning with 2 of them almost 3 clubs when he went to play Super League. Who are we talking about? What are we talking about? Matty Colkin says, time for your song soon. Yes. I do think it is. I do think it is time to say thank you and good night here on the Wasted Water Sports. Very much appreciate your company as always. Play us out. The Water Sports. If I hit the right button. There we go.
Welcome to the
Cheers.
Western world of sports, where the game's just a backdrop for drunken retorts. Rugby league or union, it's all fair play, but it's the banter that steals the show. Hey, 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 hey. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. Scrums and tries, they're all well and good, but we're here for the jokes and 10 pants last. From the kickoff to the final whistles blow, we'll take the 2 and we're ready to go. We're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. We break down the plays, but it's all in jest. With the laugh and the cheer, we bring out our best. No serious analysis, no expert critiques, just a bunch of mates sharing plenty of drinks. We'll raise a roll, from sideline jokes to post-match tales, all big goofs and their big fails. We're not so serious, and that's our style. With each ahoy, we raise our skies. Ahoy, ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. So come along and join our sporty crew, where the banter's always fresh and the laughs are true. Ahoy, wasted world of sports, here's to our cheer. We'll see you on the pitch and drink some beer. Yeah.